Good morning. This morning it's April 19th, 2026, anniversary of Waco and wasn't it Oklahoma City too? Um, it's 8:11 in the morning. This morning I'm going to do a video a little different, although it's still going to be covering Tartaria. And title is going to be, Is This Why Tartaria Was Killed and Then Historically Erased? First I want to say that I've watched a lot of videos in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 year, over a year, and they're definitely increasing. A lot of them are heavily AI created with pictures that really have nothing to do with it. They seem to just put a bunch of old pictures on and kind of hypnotize you. My question is, why are they not being censored or even why they're being promoted on YouTube when I have difficulties getting some of my videos around the censors and gaining much popularity to them. I realize that Tartaria is a subject that would draw a lot of curious people and people who question the system and question everything, which is good and healthy. But anyway, in keeping with my also line of thinking that people should stop complaining about the other guy and pointing fingers, because it's so difficult to change another's habits and another's ways. It's far easier and much more can be accomplished if you change your ways. You should be looking at yourself and how you could change and better your life. We would all get further ahead if we did that. And that's why I came up with this question of, and I've never heard it anywhere, even close, why Tartaria may have been killed. And it came out of a video of what may likely have occurred in 1859 with the Carrington event, where there was a solar flare allegedly from the sun, a very, very strong one, and it was exactly Earth facing, and it caused the then small electronic grid system of the Earth to heat up and get overly charged, such as the telegraph systems that ran along the railways and the rail connected system. Understand that any conductive material that is laid, especially east to west directions around the Earth, collects electricity from the Earth as it turns and moves within the heavens and the universe and the galaxy and the solar system. This is where we get free energy. This is where the Tartarians were gathering in their then grid system electricity. So it was far more developed free electricity back then, more so than just the telegraph lines. Now, one of the interesting things, when this flare from the sun hit the earth, it caused an overcharge of the telegraph system. Some of the more smarter and experienced telegraph operators quickly disconnected their telegraph sending units from the wire system because they knew what was happening was not good. And the story goes that a lot of them realized that not only was the telegraph system still charged, it was still being overcharged, even though they had disconnected from the batteries and what other generating devices they had hooked to the telegraph system. So what I'm saying, after listening to that particular video, which I'll give a link to in the comments section or the written section, is that there were no disconnects for the Tartarian grid system. So under normal conditions, the Tartarian electronic gathering grid system would be charged at a going rate, a going amount. But when the flare hit the Earth, it became greatly overcharged, and this caused fires. And at other times this happened. It wasn't necessarily only in 1859. It may very well have occurred a number of times back in the 1812 time. There were many great fires at that time in some of the cities, just as there were great fires in the 1890s. Chicago, one of the better reported ones was Moscow. And this I've studied as much as I can, and there seems to be more records available, at least to the public. And reading these descriptions, I got the idea that this was not any normal fire. It was not the campaign that the French general was sieging upon Moscow. Napoleon. It seems the fires got started about the time Napoleon was arriving, and really had nothing to do with Napoleon. So I was thinking that since the Moscow at that time was one of the great Tartarian cities, as was San Francisco, cities in South America, Chicago, a number of the other cities that had great fires, that they were overcharged at that period of time, around 1812 and in the 1890s. So, was it possible that these fires were being created because of the electrical disturbance that was occurring due to the sun's cycle of many flares at that time? This is something that should be seriously considered and looked at. Because if this is true, it's something that just happened. And by the powers that be at that time, that were already very powerful, the elite families, the secret societies, they became greatly in fear of this becoming a regular trend, and with their power and wealth, they proceeded in their minds that it would be good to dismantle the Tartarian ether gathering energy systems that were worldwide. So in their minds, they were doing a good thing. So should we condemn them for that? It's something that really seriously should be considered, just as I am not in the line of those who are greatly condemning people such as Bill Gates and Fauci and Klaus Schwab and some of these great or notorious earth shakers and remodelers. That is the way they are, and it's easier for you to change yourself, and in so doing, we as a society would regain our own power, and we could go off after and charge and find many of these elite families guilty of what they have done, such as trying to kill off a large percentage of the population because they realize they can no longer control us in the ways that they think that they should be allowed to control, manipulate, and erase, kill off great numbers of we the people. Now, it's also possible that the elite families and secret societies were burning Moscow, Chicago, San Francisco, and a lot of the other great Tartarian cities throughout the world, throughout the earth. It is possible that they had magical occult powers that they could set fire, unique types of fires in such cities as Moscow. That's possible too. So I'm not saying that the secret societies weren't necessarily at fault. Incidentally, I wanted to say about Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab's, I like to look at one of the stories about the turtle and the scorpion getting together to go across the river. The story goes, the tale goes, that the scorpion asked the turtle that if could he get on the turtle's back, since the turtle was going across the river or creek or body of water, had already planned to do that why not be a nice guy and give the scorpion a ride on its back so it could cross the body of water. So it was agreed, a simple agreement was made, and the turtle started to go across the body of water. And halfway across, the scorpion stings the turtle under its shell. And this turtle immediately goes, "Why'd you do that? I'm going to die, and we're both going to drown." And the scorpion replies, "Well, I'm a scorpion. That's just what I do. I sting other animals, other entities." Well, that's just how the Faucis, the Klaus Schwabs, due to their wealth, they have over the decades come to think of themselves as all-powerful. But more important, the constituents, the constituentors, the people who go out and make applications for licenses from them and therefore make a simple agreement with them to pay for their sins, their debts. The Klaus Schwabs, the elite, are going to do that because the constituents have placed them, the elite families, in charge in an ownership capacity. That's what, when you agree to pay for the sins of another, you are becoming in debt to them. And of course they are in debt to you, but since they're all powerful, they're not going to look at it that way. They, in effect, have legally become or gained ownership over you via a simple contract or a very complicated contract, such as what you do with that when you make out a simple contract to become a resident, which is the same thing as a constituent, basically. Understand, whether you've done that through fear or not, you have done it. That's what an application is. You have applied to them. They haven't. They may have gone out and threatened you and told you that you must have one of these on your car or truck because you are in a commercial capacity. Not enough of you have questioned that and said, "I object." You could put this upside down, meaning that you're objecting, or you could take it off. I agree. Some people who have taken this off and have put something like this on their car or truck have been shot and killed right there on the spot. So, the threats of the people who work for the Lori Lanes on this planet are indeed threatening, coercing you all out there to become a constituent of theirs, to be responsible for paying their debts. Those who have created these corporations that have gotten so powerful that you all out there are in fear of not having this mark of the beast, and actually going out and making applications for the mark of the beast, when in fact you could come out of her, my people, come out of the licensing and dictatorship of the Lane family, of the Klaus Schwab family, of the Rockefellers family, the Rothschilds, the Parshalls, and all the other elite families that have got you by the neck and are strangling you and killing you off like they did with Tartaria. That's how it is. But the purpose of this video is to help you think that regardless of the history, the only way we can change the route that we're going, which is very similar to the route that the so-called gray extraterrestrials, that are not, they're just a dimensional traveler from a future timeline, not the future timeline, but a timeline that you all that are being genetically modified are being channeled into becoming the Greys, because the Greys, in effect, are the humans of today from a future timeline. And the more you become a corporate dead entity, being owned and indebted through contracts to the Lori Lanes and the Rothschilds, the more you are becoming a gray alien to the living men and women on this planet, those who have come out of the beast, become out of the harlot, come back into the living, come back into the common law, come back into universal law. That's the way it is. So only you can easily take the steps in a peaceful manner not through war, but through objections recorded in such ways as the Global Family Group and the American Federation. You need to record this publicly, because by doing that, you're putting up a notice that I have come out of the One World Order, the Beast Corporation. Happy future, soon to be returned to the public right-of-ways and objected and taken back from the current privately owned by the elite private right-of-ways. Bye now.